If the European Commission would be a commercial actor, RAN would be our bestseller. Everybody wants the RAN.
The news and
inside the terror attack.
The reason behind the RAN being formed, I guess, was it was at a time when I think Europe and the world, in fact, actually were facing this crisis in the sense of the rise of violent extremism.
I think RAN came into being at a very interesting time. We had terror plots that were occurring.
The man accused of killing 77 people in Norway last year has gone on trial in Oslo.
The Utøya and Oslo attacks were actually a game changer in the sense that we realized how individuals on their own could actually commit mass attacks, which in that case I think killed some 77 people.
The Commission was looking for a way to raise, as the word suggests, the awareness in the member states on the importance of prevent people from getting radicalized.
And it was, I think, recognised that actually the voice that was often missing from these conversations about how to deal with the issues was that of the practitioners.
People involved at local level, teachers, social workers, prison staff and so on.
And we began then by thinking about, okay, how can we create a core of experts, that practitioners that actually work in the field and that can call each other. We came up with the idea that why don't we create a network of networks?
To build up a bridge, a link between all these practitioners, these experts, and here came the RAN.
Mein Name ist Felix Beneckenstein, ich arbeite für Exit Deutschland und bin selber Aussteiger aus der Neonazi-Szene. Für mich persönlich ist es schon sehr nützlich, wir konnten uns international austauschen, das ist auch für mich auch sehr spannend und interessant zu hören, wie es in anderen Ländern läuft, weil ja auch Rechtsextremisten in anderen Ländern arbeiten.
So I work on a project called Radical Web, and we aim to prevent violent extremism and radicalization in young people by training youth workers. So I've always felt very welcomed, and it brings to light a lot of grassroots level practices and projects and organizations as well, which I think is fantastic.
Countries like Finland, we didn't have that kind of challenge before. We wanted to know that what is this phenomenon, what is it about, and how to prevent it. RAN give us a lot of support and help when we start this work in Finland.
During the time of the conflict in Syria and Iraq, I think that was a really testing time for people, and RAN was perfectly placed at what was a really important time, I think, in terms of being able to help to respond to some of those challenges.
2 women, 74 children and 4 male fighters back home. All of them had been in prison.
We were one of the first ones who actually spotted the whole issue of people leaving from Europe to join Daesh. And we did a manual on returnees. How do you actually handle that?
Our experts from the education sectors, they attend to study visit to Kosovo, how to integrate these returning families and children to the society again. And it was really very useful.
I think that in terms of the far right, RAN could see that challenge was on the increase very early on.
Der internationale Austausch hilft uns in der Praxis natürlich, also weil zum einen auch unsere Klienten, Rechtsextremisten, natürlich auch internationale Netzwerke nutzen. Der Austausch und Abgleich der Erfahrungen ist heutzutage extrem wichtig.
Of course, COVID has affected this whole environment, this whole dynamic. And that has also been important to discuss during the COVID crisis. What do we do when they are pushing out propaganda, when they are recruiting?
RAN is quite quick to, latch on to new and emerging issues. There was a bunch of webinars on how the pandemic has affected affected, radicalization and terrorism, because this has affected everyone around the world.
It's a very, very cross-border phenomenon, and how these different groups learn from each other, and I think that that's one of our challenges in the future.
I thought I was very quick to kind of get a really good grasp on what platforms to use, and I've only been involved since COVID pretty much, so it's all been online, but I've still managed to meet a lot of different practitioners around Europe.
The way in which RAN has responded to many of these sort of new challenges has been to really stay ahead of the curve.
Touching upon new expertise, new practitioners, it is capable of progressively reinventing itself and always be on the leading edge.
RAN began just by a few individuals who had an idea about creating a network of networks, and it actually worked. It really began from nothing, and I think 6,000 practitioners, that's a huge achievement, and we're working to make everyone safer, both locally but also nationally, all across the European Union.
I think that we have learned a lot. We understand this phenomenon much better than we understood when we started.
I'm very impressed, very proud, I'm very grateful for the support that the Commission provided. It's really an EU product that we should be proud of.
I think the European Commission managed to achieve something really impressive with RAN. I think it will be fantastic to see RAN continue in the same vein.
This is why we are so committed in continuing nurturing and further reinforcing this network with a fantastic family of very committed individuals who constantly also are open and demanding to do new things.